Okay, we back. Just getting some XP. Just a little bit more. Don't grab these blaze rods while we're waiting. Okay. Almost. Might as well heal them before we go back fully. I mean, they're gonna be like broken as soon as we get back here anyways. Whew. Man, I'm like half tired now. Whoa. Well, he's dead. Sir, I need you to... Thank you. That's one. It's just this one. Tea. My favorite. Why do I have this? I already had one named Fireworks, really? Whoops. This mic is so low. Come on, we're almost there, baby. One more. Yeah, if you guys could, like, die, that'd be great. Bruh, how many does it take? It's gotta be it now, right? There we go. Sweet, okay. Now we're ready to go. Take our blaze rods. No skeletons? That's It's weird. I don't like it. Eerie. Ow. Rude. Rude. I'm playing so much Terraria lately, I keep forgetting how to play Minecraft. Okay. It looks so nice from here. I thought about going on the SMP tonight, but maybe we'll save that for the next one. I keep forgetting that I have, like, the frogs on there that I needed to, like, get frog lamps from. But alas, we will just have to continue at the end, I guess. Hey. Croza. The Endstone is forever. Yeah, I have to head over there now. I was just finishing repairing my pickaxes. These are duration 2, right? Yeah, okay, I was gonna say. They seemed like they weren't lasting very long. Bright light! Yeah, I get it. Forever. Man, I really need to shave. Like, look how much, like, it's just coming in here. But I can't find a charger for my razor. It's just a micro USB 2. So I need to find one. I'm sure I have a cord around somewhere. The only one I tried to use was from, like, one of my consoles, which would have worked. But the plastic part on it was too big and it wouldn't fit. So, yeah. See, now I'm gone too far yet again. I always go too far this way. And it's right here. How did I... Oh, the shulker boxes. I was like, how did I even damage this? Ow. Excuse me? There we go. We should decorate this room too, like later on once we get everything done. More boring mining. I should just start calling these like mine and talk day, because that's pretty much all it is. It gotta be done though. We gotta do this. I can't keep putting it off because otherwise we'll never get it done. And I'd say we could beat the Wither first to get the beacon, but I don't think the beacon would help us at all in the end because it didn't the last time. So pretty sure it doesn't affect Endstone. I'm like half falling asleep now because I was sitting down so long getting a tattoo. But that reminds me, I have to go put these shulker boxes down somewhere. Ow. Bro, I didn't even look at you. I was looking at the ground. Rude. And give me a second. This guy's being an asshole. One of Riss's relatives is being a dick to me again. Okay. Okay. Not a blue one. Not a purple. Not a purple. And another purple. Okay. I don't know why I brought my fucking blaze rods with me, but I did. Hey guys, how's it going? There's a few of you guys here today. Hey. It's still got the second skin on it. I gotta leave that on tonight till tomorrow, and then I gotta take it off and replace it with another one. Then leave that one on for 7 days, and then take it off, and it should be healed better. I can't. It's hard to show on stream. I'll get up hanging. So it's like right here on my arm. It looks really good. The only thing that he kind of did wrong was he colored the ears in entirely black when they're supposed to be beige. But what I'm thinking is we'll just do a beige outline around it, and that'll be fine. It is pretty exciting. I never really thought tattoos hurt. I was never afraid to get tattoos because of pain or anything like that. I was just... Tattoos are expensive, and because it's my friend and he's doing it for free, you know, I don't mind. I'll buy the supplies, you know. He's gonna color it, not next time, but he wants to get a little bit better at coloring first. But once he gets better at coloring, he'll color it for me too, so. Yeah. Plus it's practice for him too, right? Because he's apprenticing right now, so... It's just free practice for him to do stuff. And he's good enough that, like, I trust him, definitely. I could probably get, like, 2 more. I don't... And I'm still iffy on what I want those to be. Because I think some of the ones I might wait till later and get it, like, way down the road. And either get him to do it or get someone else to do it. Depending. I don't know. We'll see. But, he's basically doing small... Like, this is one of the bigger ones that he's done. So, I don't know. I wanted to get a hardcore heart, like, from Minecraft. It'd probably be on the same arm. I'd probably get that on the inside of my wrist here. Like, right here. And, my thought is, if I'm gonna be doing this at all, and just in case I do get way more, because I don't really plan on it, but... would be to have one arm be like video game related stuff and the other arm be music related, because this is my strumming arm when I'm playing guitar, so like you're gonna see this arm more probably when I'm out playing shows and stuff. So like if I get music and stuff on this arm, it would make more sense, you know. There's a bunch of stuff that for years I've wanted to get. I didn't have the money to do it, right? It's just a money issue for me. I don't have hundreds of dollars to spend on that. And if it comes between that and buying a game or something, I'd rather spend it on actual physical things than, like, ink on my skin, you know? I like tattoos, but it's not something that I'm like, oh, well, you know. Like, some people get them, like, every couple weeks or, like, a couple times a month, like, just all the time. It's like an addiction, almost. I guess. But, yeah, so, I want to get the My Computer icon from, like, Windows 95, like the little pixelated computer, just a small one. And I want to get the hardcore heart. These are just ones that I've thought of. I got that Lane Staley one I want to get eventually. That's way later on. I'd like to get something Technoblade and Philza related, but not direct. It's like I said the last stream when we were doing this, I said I wanted to get something that was like if you know what it is, but if you don't know, then it's just a cool tattoo, you know? Like with Technoblade, it'd probably be like a crown and a sword, and then have like a crow on the sword or something like that, representing the Philza reference. And not have any like actual direct references to it, you know? I think that would just be cool. Because I want them to be kind of subtle. Like, this is the only direct one I think I'm pretty much going to get. Right? Yeah. Symbolic of them, but not, like, I'm not going to get, like, you know, Philza's face tattooed on my arm. I don't want nothing like that. And, like, as for music stuff, the only one I've really thought of musically was a backwards E for Eminem. Did I pick those up? I did, okay. And obviously the Lane Staley one, but that one's going to go on my shoulder blade. I want to get it in the same spot that he had a tattoo. Because I think Lane had a tattoo on his shoulder blade of, like, a guy with his eyes sewed shut. Like the Man in the Box lyric. I think it's Man in the Box that lyric is in. You didn't miss much. It was just, like, I was pretty unaffected by it, honestly. The only part that kind of hurt was, like, the fingers up here, because it's really close to where the bone is. Where the rest of it's on muscle tissue, I guess. So it was kind of like, yeah, it didn't really hurt at all. I didn't expect it to, really. Because I've seen people get tattoos many times, so I know the ones that hurt. Like, I know where to get them where they'll hurt, and I know where to get them to not hurt. So it was pretty good. I liked it. I was kind of nervous about getting the second skin put on over it because I have a lot of allergies, and I wasn't sure if there was anything. Because his girlfriend got one last week, and she started getting, like, burns from the adhesive of it. So she must have been allergic to something in the adhesive. So I wasn't sure if that would affect me, because you know what I'm like. I thought it might be, like, latex, but it's not latex, so... Because I am allergic to latex. It's funny, because he was using a different brand, and he changed the brand to whatever this one is called. I forget what it's called. And it affected her, so it must... The only thing that he could find on Google was that it was something in the actual, like, adhesive glue. Excuse me. I think after I'm done this layer of the island, I don't know if I'm going to remove the whole island. I think I might just put the castle on top of the island. And keep the sword idea, and keep the ring going around it idea thing too, still. Because the castle is going to be within the ring of the obsidian towers, right? And... I don't know, see, because I'm thinking about it, and it's like, it's a lot of work. Not only that, but it's like a lot of risk involved too, because I could fall into the void very easily. So I don't really know if I want to go that route, if it's worth it. Like, is it worth it in the long run? Is it going to look that much better if I do it? You know? To be fair, too, if I built the castle and later on I decided, oh, I'd like to remove the rest of the island, I could easily do that. Because it would be under the castle, so... You think so? You think it's worth it? If you think it's worth it, I'll go for it. It's just it's a tedious process, and it's not like I always feel like I'm being boring when I'm doing these streams like this, because it's not like I'm like Phil or somebody who has like, you know, fucking few thousand people watching him do this, and everybody's talking, so everybody's entertained basically anyways, you know? Well, the reason I'm saying that is because I think if I decide to keep the island for now and just build a castle on top of it, then my next thing that I'm going to do, the next stream that we do on here, I'm probably just going to start doing the Enderman farm before I build the castle and all that stuff, just so that we have an easy way to repair our tools, and we don't have to go back and forth to the nether constantly. Well, we've removed, I think, 10 layers, and I think there's probably, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna fly around because I don't trust it on the server. I'm afraid that my elytra will just not work for no apparent reason. But I will have a little gander here. See what I mean? There's a lot, right? So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's like at least 20 layers. If there's layers under that, they're a lot smaller because obviously the island comes to like a point underneath, kind of. Like, it is a lot, but at the same time, if we're doing this every stream that I do for the next couple months, we'd have it done quite quickly, you know? Where's Riss? I have no idea. They might not be up. They could be asleep. It's only like 12 noon or something there now, right? I mean, if Riss ever wants to come on, log on, and help, they are fully welcome to do that. Anybody is fully welcome to do that like that, if I trust you enough. So, like, obviously you and Riss, that would be no problem, but you don't have access to that, and Riss's internet isn't that great, so it's kind of hard for them to do that. I could try and put together a redstone contraption to do this, but I don't know how easy that would be. And then the other thing is, if I got other people helping me, then I'm going to have to make some more pickaxes for whoever's helping me, because obviously the durability goes down quite quick. Well, yeah, I'd have to walk the person there, basically, because I don't have any other elytra besides the ones I'm wearing. Which is another reason why I don't like going over the void, because I don't have any backup elytra. This is it. I don't think I do. If I do, they're not enchanted. You know what's funny is, like, you know how I got this tattoo? The first thing that my mother says is the whole age-old, you'll never get a job thing with that, which is bullshit. But on that note also, it's like, oh, why would you get, you know, a cartoon character? It's like, I don't, like, because I want to. I don't know. It's not just a game character to me. It's literally, like, part of my life that helped me through a lot of shit. Like, I like, there's plenty of times in my life where I was upset about something, or something was affecting me a lot, and if it wasn't for those games, and, like, I don't even know, man. Those games helped me a lot. That's why I have 99 lives in all those games, because I played them so much every time that I get stressed about something. Not even for a long time, just play like 2 levels and be done, you know? And don't worry about it. If either one of you guys can get set up eventually, it's no big deal. Either that, or I could get even if I could get Riss or someone on here just to do this, and then I'll go build the Enderman farm while they're doing it or something, you know. Get 2 birds stoned at once. In reality, ain't one. Got 99 lives, and it ain't one. She's all 99 of them. There you go. There's an Eminem line for you. What song is that from? So much better. It's funny. My friend that did the tattoo, his girlfriend like knows me, but she don't know me very well. And she came to see my show the last time with him, right? And it was the first rock show she's ever been to in general, ever. Like, no concerts. This is the first one she's ever seen. And she was amazed. And he was like, you know, he likes rap music too. And she was like, really? He's like, yeah, man, that guy can, like, recite, like, you give him an Eminem song and he can recite the entire song back to you. And I'm like, it's true, though. I probably, not everyone, but there's certain songs that even without the beat, I could probably do the whole song. Almost full. Lost my momentum there. I can't do one on here because I'll get banned for half the words that I have to say. It's actually funny. Well, I care. I don't want to get banned, and I'm perma-banned, and I can't stream anymore. Yes, you will. You very much will. I guarantee you. There's bigger streamers than me that have been banned. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. I don't even know what my favorite Eminem song would be. It changes from day to day, really, depending on how I'm feeling. I guess we'll know when Spotify on December 1st does their year roundup thing. Their wrap-up or whatever. Because I'll know which one I've listened to the most. I feel like my favorite is definitely something off of the Marshall Mathers LP, though. Although, I don't know. It might be Eminem Show, because I used to say Soldier was my favorite Eminem song. I really like Square Dance, though. Square Dance is really good, too. Bruh. Still don't give a... It's a good song. The beat for that song goes hard, man. Especially if you have it turned up in your car. That one and Just Don't. Both of them are amazing songs. I really like, what is the name of that song? God. I just don't get to listen to it because it's not on any, it's not out in any official capacity. Damn, what is that called? Oh, Low Down and Shifty. Low Down Shifty is like one of my favorite, man. I love that song. Or Low Down and Dirty, is it? I know he says Shifty in the song, but I think the song name is different. I'm low down and I'm shifty. It's a good song. It's on the Slim Shady EP, not LP, EP. The one that he did before he met Dre, and Dre, that's the EP that Dre listened to and was like, I gotta sign this guy. Because it has a lot of the same songs that are on the LP. Dre just remixed them, basically. Or changed the beats on some of them. And that song, for some reason, even though it was reworked and the beat was redone and cleaned up, it still didn't make the album. And I'll never get it because it's a really good song. Also, another song I really like is off Infinite, which is called It's Okay. I love that song so much. That's such a chill song. And before he was angry. I heard they opened up a Mom Spaghetti in New York now, hey? So it's not just in Detroit now. It's pretty cool. I'd like to try that. Everyone says it's really good. Yeah, for real. You know, that's a song I really like by him, but I hate listening to it anymore because I feel like every time that he does like a TV appearance, that's the song he does. It's either that or Not Afraid. Right? I'd love to go there sometime, honestly. It's a really nice city. Just gotta watch where you're going, I guess, like any other city. People always make cities out to be like that. They're like, oh yeah, it's really great, but like don't go to this part of the city. And like, man, like every city is like that though. Like legit. It's the same thing with Montreal. There's parts of Montreal you don't want to go to. Every city has their etiquette that they, you know. No one has ever said that about Detroit, no. It's not why it's the main city they use in RoboCop. I'm just gonna go drop all this off before I get too far away from the shulker boxes. So I hear. Don't scare me from going there, though. As long as you're being careful, you'll be fine. Just don't be an idiot. I mean, come on, like, that's just common sense, and you go anywhere where you're not, you don't usually, what am I trying to say? That's common sense to when, like, you go to any place that you don't commonly live there, you know? Well, yeah, duh. No shit, Sherlock. Closest you get is probably, like, driving by the highway or something. It's unfortunate that places are like that, though. It sucks that people still can't get along. But that's it. That's it. I don't need to know. That's just common sense. That's the same thing with places in Canada. There's parts of Vancouver you don't go near. There's parts of Toronto you don't go near. There's parts of whatever. It's just the way that is. That's like that. Like I said, every city has that. It's just that some cities is more apparent than others, and also more cities are more famous for that specific reason. Yeah. I mean, big cities now, like, obviously, here, it's not really, like, that city here is not, like, where I live, it's not a big city at all, it's tiny. You go to any other city and you're like, damn, half the people that have never left the province that I live in, like, have no idea what it's like in, like, an actual city, driving or doing anything. And I have plenty of friends that live here that have never left here, ever. They've never left the island. Which is crazy to me, because it's like, man, what are you doing? Get out and see some things, you know? You ain't got forever. At least anything outside of here. At least say you left. There's nothing more depressing than the older people that live here that are like, I've never left this. I'm like, man, you lived your entire 90 years of life on a small island and have never left. Like, how does that not affect you? That would bother the shit out of me. I like going places. I like seeing history. Like, even when I go to cities, like, I'm not the kind of person that likes going to the bars and shit all like that all the time and going partying and whatnot. I want to see, like, the actual cool stuff. Like, the only reason that I would do that in Montreal is because I've been to Montreal, like, 3 times and I've seen all that stuff, you know? But whenever I go somewhere I haven't been, the first thing I want to do is go to, like, a history museum, go to an art museum, go see an exhibit, go to a zoo, go, I don't know, see monuments, historic monuments, whatever. Like, I love that shit. Eat that shit up. And there's so much of that within your own country. That's the funny thing, is that people like here, where I live, will be like, oh yeah, but there's not that much. It's not like I'm going to the United States and I can go see, like, blah, 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 blah. They name a bunch of monuments. And I'm like, there's plenty of monuments in Canada you could go see, man. So many. And nature parks and stuff like that. Great Lakes. There's so many cool things you can see. Famous buildings. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you're not going to have, like, the crazy notoriety that some monuments and buildings and stuff have in the United States. The United States is one of, like, the most, I don't want to say popularized places in the world, but, like, you know, everybody talks about going and seeing United States monuments. That's just, so like, oh, I'd love to see the Great Grand Canyon and Mount Rushmore and the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, like, I don't know, fucking everything. I can't think of everything off the top of my head. Statue of Liberty, damn. There's shit everywhere. I do like, Europe is my favorite, though, because there's so much history in Europe, like, with, you know, World War II and World War I and everything, like, obviously happening over there. There's so much of that history to see. And I find that history the most interesting. Because those are the types of historic places where you go and you stand up in a place like that. And say, like, an old, like, battlefield where, like, everybody fought and people died and all that. You know, like, just being there for some reason just, like, affects you in, like, a deeper way. Because you're really thinking about everything that happened there, you know, where you're standing. That was one of my favorite things about going to, when I went to Russia, was seeing, like, old war monuments, and also seeing, like, different, things to do with the czars and stuff like that. It was really cool and interesting. Are you still there, or did I put you to sleep? I probably put you to sleep. I've been rambling. And then the other thing I like seeing, obviously, is, like, movie locations. I always think that's cool as fuck. Like, the first place I would want to go to if I ever went to, like, Manhattan would be to see the firehouse for, like, Ghostbusters. That would be my like, #1 thing, probably. And I'd love to see, like, the Chrysler Building and the Empire State Building, because I love, especially the Chrysler Building, because it has, like, all the Art Deco. And I haven't really seen that many Art Deco buildings in real life. I'm so boring. I put everyone to sleep. I joke. I kid. If I offend, I'm sorry. Please forgive. Me too, though. You wouldn't think I'd be tired, because I literally am just, like, not working right now, but I'm still tired. But to be fair, that's my thyroid is not working properly currently, so it's affecting my everything. When it's not working properly, I wish I could explain the amount of things that go wrong with me. So many things. Like, my anxiety gets worse. I can't sleep. Even when I do sleep, I'm still tired. I have terrible memory. I will literally just get easily distracted by everything. I don't know. It, like, literally affects, like, my entire mental state when it's not working properly. And they keep screwing around with my medication every time I go back to the doctor lately, which is, I think, not helping. To be fair, ever since I started on this medication, since I was, like, what? I want to say, like, 19. They've never been able to pin down the exact dose that I need, because it's somewhere in between actual doses. So, like, it's some weird amount in the middle that's, like, the exact spot, and they're still trying to figure it out. And then lately, where I was working so much, I haven't been able to go and get all the tests done that I was supposed to get done because I didn't have time or whatever, you know. Also, my doctor's notorious for not answering the freaking phone when you call. So hopefully I can figure that out in the next couple of weeks. Or at least something. I do have a blood test on the 2nd of December, so hopefully we'll get shit figured out, because I really need to get that figured out. Still not as bad as I was when I was in high school, though. When I was in high school and it was just literally not working, like, at all. Not badly, it was just not working. Bad scene. Bad scene. Picture all the growth that, like, normal, the normal growth of, like, a teenager at that age. Like, of, like, 15, 16, and stuff like that. Like, but I went through all those years of growth in a matter of, like, 3 years instead. All because that one part of me wasn't working, and the doctor I had at the time couldn't fucking figure that out. Even though apparently it was super obvious to every other doctor. There's Riss. Riss woke up. Ick. That's gross. True. You're gonna be tired, though. My friend said he's getting sick and tired of my former workplace just because they keep calling him every day. Even when I was getting my tattoo, they called him like 4 times in a row. Like, that's just straight up harassment when, like, if you don't answer the phone, don't call like 1,000,000 times in a row. At least wait like a half an hour or something, like. True. See, I'm not laying around. I've literally been cleaning this house for like the last 3 fucking days. It's taking forever, but I'm getting all this cleaning that I've needed to do for over a year now. Like, I'm finally able to get it done. And I'm gonna take a bunch of stuff to the dump probably sometime this week. Just because it's sitting here forever, and it's like, it's stuff that, like, I can't act like. I have a lot of stuff that I'm donating to thrift and whatever, but like, there's so much shit that gotta be thrown out. There's stuff here. See, like, I moved in this apartment when my grandparents went in a home originally, and all of their stuff is still here in storage, and like, I don't know what to do with it. It's like old family photos. Like, what do I do with that? Like, I don't even know who any of these people are. I don't know if I care. I know it sounds horrible, because I'm sure someone's going to be saying that about me someday. But like, I don't know. Like, it's just so much stuff that, like, I don't know what to do with. I don't know that I care. You know, I don't have any brothers or sisters or any, like, actual aunts. All my aunts and uncles are, like, you know, are, like, my grandparents' brothers and sister, because my mom's brothers and sisters are all not with us anymore. So it's like, they're all in their 80s, so it's not like I can just, you know, give stuff to them, because like, it's just like pawning it off on someone else. So I don't know what to do with a lot of it, to be honest. A lot of it's like furniture shit too, like, that I just need to get rid of, and old picture frames that I need to get rid of, and there's so much. There's boxes and boxes that, like, if I had gotten rid of it, originally would have been best, but like no one wanted to help me at the time. So now that I have time to do it, I might as well do it and throw it all out and get rid of all this stuff, because it's gotten so bad in like my back storage room that like I can't even walk in there anymore, and like I gotta get rid of it because it's driving me crazy. So I have a bunch of stuff to donate, and then I have another pile that I'm just gonna take to the dump, because otherwise I don't know what to do with it. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not just gonna throw out old family photos because they're important for whatever. I'm sure even if I'm not interested, somebody might be interested in it at some point. So I'm not gonna get rid of that stuff. That stuff's not hard to store anywhere. I'm more or less talking about like old books and shit that like I can donate that are not in good condition anymore because they've been in storage. And my back room, where I'm in a basement apartment, is very damp. And we had a pipe burst last year, and it basically made everything super... some of it's probably moldy, in all honesty, so I should really throw it out. It's just in storage, in the back. Like, I'm trying to explain how this is. So there's a door in my wall right here, and behind the wall is like a crawl space for storage, right? It's like the length of the wall. And there's shelves on both sides. Basically, there's like 10 or 12 boxes in the back there that are filled with books and recipe books and blah, 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 dishes and fucking whatever. Any junk you can think of that people leave when they're not here anymore. And nobody would help me remove it when I moved in here originally, because obviously my grandparents weren't home. Nobody had time because they were trying to figure that out. So I basically moved in and moved all my stuff in. And over the past like 5 years or whatever, however long I've been living here, I've acquired so much stuff that I've put some of the stuff in storage. And so all of their stuff is behind all my stuff. So I have to take all of my stuff out of storage and put it somewhere out here in the living room or something. And then remove their stuff out and then put all my stuff back in is basically the problem. But nobody wanted to help me do it for the longest while, so I'm just gonna fucking do it myself. Well, yeah, I know that. Even when I moved in here, there was a lot of mold in general. Like, I had to get a gas mask and everything to clean this place when I originally moved in here, because it was in a state of disrepair to a certain degree. I repainted all the walls, I repainted the ceiling, I repainted everything, and guess who helped me? Nobody. I did everything myself. Like this big ass room, the kitchen. The only room that someone helped with was my mother's boyfriend, who did the bedroom, and that was it. And he did such a terrible job. Like, there's paint everywhere. But yeah. I cleaned out my front porch, which is great because there was a lot of junk out there and stuff, because the storm door got blown off by the wind, and there's so much junk out there, and I already got rid of all that. And old tires that I got rid of and brought to the dump already, and I need to make a second run. Do you mind, sir? And yeah, so I'm working on that. I want to do the back room next because it drives me nuts. Also, like, I'm gonna get rid of a lot of the stuff that I have too, because I don't need a lot of it. It's just that where it was in storage and then I put stuff in after it, in order for me to go and get this stuff, I need to take everything else out, so it's been a pain. So whatever I don't need, I'm gonna get rid of, or sell or donate, because some of it is like computer stuff that I could probably sell, especially the older stuff. So yeah, there's a few broken computers in there that I can't get to that I'll probably try and fix and sell. Because I have a few iMacs in there that I could probably fix and sell. And I have a few old PCs, but I think the old PCs, I'll probably just take the parts out of the cases and just give away the cases or throw them out. Because it's the kind of thing where, like, where I live, it's really hard to find old computer parts, so you basically just end up buying... Like, if I went to a thrift store and seen, like, a Windows 98 computer, I'd buy it, right? Not necessarily for the case, but because there are probably, like, 1 or 2 cards in it that I want for my computer. or as a backup in case mine dies, because these parts obviously are getting old. They don't last long. So yeah, I have a lot of that shit. I just need to get rid of it. It drives me crazy that I have it. I hate it so much. I'm just glad to get rid of it. Pretty much. Well, I mean, I'm not employed at the moment, so it's the best time to do it. I have free time on my hands. I might as well do it now before I get something and I don't have time to do it and it just gets worse, you know? Plus, it gives me more room for stuff that I have out that I don't need out that I want to put in storage or something, you know? Sorry, I was trying to see what time it is. Okay. I started at 11. I'm only going to go for like an hour and a half. Because all my pickaxes are going to last anyways. But yeah, so I'm glad I'm getting all that done. I definitely am. Christmas is coming up, which is stressful as fuck because I hate Christmas so much. More power to you if anyone likes Christmas that is watching this or watches a VOD or anything like that. Like, just personally, nah, not anymore. It's funny, apparently the new kitchen manager at the place where I was working was talking to my friend who's the, like, assistant kitchen manager, kind of. And asking about me, because he asked me to my face when he started, because we had this new guy starting, like, pretty much the week that my last 2 weeks. But he was only there for, like, a couple hours in the morning, because he was still finishing up his other job. And he was asking me why I quit, and I told him bluntly, like, everything that was going on and what caused me to quit. And I said it's stress. I was like, I feel like I'm not left alone even when I'm not here. Like, I get that I'm a supervisor and stuff, but, like, I still need days off like any other person. Like, I can't do that, you know? Like, my mental state can't handle that all the time. And shit like that, and I told him everything going on. But apparently he said to Austin, he was saying, like, you know, if I ever want to come back, like, I'm welcome to come back, and he'll try to, like, whatever, but I don't know if it's worth it, because the person that was causing the stress is still there, and they're still in a management position. Not as high as they were, because when they came back, they got a lower one. But I still don't think it's a great idea, you know? I just feel like I'm just walking back into, like, a toxic place if I do that. And plus, my friend, the one I'm talking about, the one who did my tattoo, he also is planning on leaving there very soon anyways, because it's killing him too, like, stress-wise. Well, that's what it was like. That's what it was like for me. I'd walk in, and nobody would even have to say anything to me. It was almost like just walking into the building was, like, instant stress, first of all. And then as soon as I, like, sign in to, because we had a sign-in sheet. They don't have computer sign-in or nothing, because they're, like, from 1980. I'd go to sign in, and it would be like, oh, it's like 10 people would come up to me and tell me all these rumors and drama, and not even things that are applying to my job, just, this person was talking shit about this person, and this person went and did this, and this person got caught doing this, and well, thank God you're here, because we're down 3 people, and you gotta work by yourself, and blah, blah, blah. We were trying to get a hold of you on your day off, and blah, blah, blah. And it was just, like, constant, just fucking stupid. It wasn't even the job parts that bothered me. I don't mind that. That was part of my job, right? But when it was getting there, and someone was telling me, like, oh, well, you know, like, I'm just gonna make up names here. These aren't actual people I worked with. When it comes in and they're like, oh, you know, Scott was saying that this person did this and he doesn't like that, and this other person came to me and they said this, and like, I don't care about your stupid petty drama. I come here to do my job, get paid, and go home, and it's as simple as that. We're not friends. I'm not friends with you. We're coworkers. And I don't care. I don't care about any of this drama. I just want to come in and do my job and go home. And it was getting to the point at that point where instead of people talking shit about other people, it was about me. And I was like, what the hell did I do? Like, I literally just did my job, came to work every day on time. I was never late once that I worked there. I've never been late when I was there. Ever. I always came in, like, early. Whatever. And, you know, I did all my overtime. I stayed late. Like I don't remember. I looked at my check stub, the last one that I had. That was, like, the amount of overtime hours that I've worked since January is a ridiculous amount. Right? Anyways, so that was my reason. It was stressing me the fuck out. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it anymore. I didn't even have... I was looking for another job, yeah, and I still am, but, like, I just couldn't handle that. Like, that was fucking killing me. Like, I was crying on my day off, you know? Yeah, well, they were trying to get me to say something bad so that they could go to somebody else and then say, hey, Kyle said this, because they just like stirring up drama. I know, I'm well aware of what it was about. It's just, like, I would literally be like, you know what, shut up, don't tell me about it. Right? Like, I don't want to know. And when it got to the point where I was the drama for no apparent reason, I was like, no, I'm done. And then when I quit, put in my notice, sent that person that was saying that stuff about me that wasn't true, sent them the message, and they never answered me back about it. Obviously, I knew they wouldn't, because I knew they wouldn't have the guts to do that. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't get that. There's plenty of loyal employees there, and instead of treating them with respect and saying, you know, after they're done a shift or after they do something like cleaning, instead of saying, oh, good job, like, thanks for doing that, like, we really appreciate all the work you put in, you know? Instead of that, you don't get any of that, right? You just get, oh, like, this part here is not done right, or you forgot to do this other thing, but you did that, that's fine, but you forgot to do this, like, what's wrong with you, you know? And then on top of that, they'd want you to do favors for them, and it's like, no, like, that's not how this works. Like, I know you're a manager and stuff, but, like, respect is a two-way street. You don't just get it. And then that manager that treated those people like that would get sooky when he finds out that all the staff that was leaving was saying they were leaving because of him. Right? And I'm like, well, maybe you just need to treat people better. And this person isn't even necessarily a bad person. I don't really have anything personal against him. It's nothing like that, because he was nice for the longest time. I don't know what happened or what changed, but I don't know, man. It wasn't cool, you know? It was just unprofessional. Oh yeah, he was a terrible leader. Anybody there would tell you that. I'm not saying this for my own bragging rights or anything, because I don't necessarily agree with everybody, but everybody there, like, when I was leaving, was like, man, I can't believe Kyle's leaving. He's like the most humble person I know, and he always tries to do his job, and he always tries to help you out. If I ever got a problem, I go to Kyle, and he fixes it. He's always there to help, you know? And so, like, that's, like, I've had, like, 4 staff members come up to me with that. Well, even one of the staff members out front came up to me and literally hugged me and started crying because he didn't want me to fucking go. Because he was struggling for the longest while. I don't want to get too much into it, but basically he has a daughter, and him and his wife both work full-time, and they're struggling to do whatever, right? But he was always on time. He always did his job. But there'd be points in the night where, like, he'd be like, well, my daughter's here in the restaurant. My wife couldn't take care of her, so she's here. Do you mind if I go for 15 minutes and drive her home and come back, and you can cover me? And I'm like, yeah, no problem, buddy. Like, just go do what you got to do and come back. It's all good. Like, I knew he was good for it. I knew he was a good worker. I knew he did his job, right? But when I wasn't there and there was someone else there doing that, they'd get really, like, shitty with him, you know? And then they'd be saying stuff about him behind his back, like, oh, he doesn't do this, he's this, blah, 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 blah. Like, that doesn't get you anywhere. It's no good to talk about staff like that. Even if you do think it legitimately, you don't say it out loud. You just don't. You keep that to yourself, or you go to a higher management thing and you say, hey, this person's not doing this, or you go to the said person and say, hey, I noticed you weren't getting this done. I noticed that you're late every day. I noticed you're doing this. Mention it to them. Don't talk about them behind their back. That doesn't get you anywhere. That doesn't get them anywhere. It just makes that person feel like crap for being there. And it makes you look like an asshole. Ow. Bruh. Rude. I'm in the middle of talking here. Enderman's like, shut up, bro. I'm sick of hearing this. But yeah, on that note, I'm glad that I'm done with that place, because dealing with that every single day was obnoxiously brutal. Nobody should have to deal with that. Even a manager higher than me shouldn't have to deal with stress like that. I don't think anybody should be stressed. If everybody's working together as a team efficiently and respectfully, then people shouldn't be stressed. Because even when things get rough and you get busy and things don't go as planned, like, you know, you should still be able to work together to get through that. Yeah, and well, I mean, that's my point. I was trying so hard to be a good leader. I was trying to be that difference. Because the reason I wanted a job in the first place, yes, was the money. But at the same time, I actually did legitimately, me and my friend who did the tattoo, who was a manager, just one position higher than me, we both wanted to make that place better, but nobody wants to work with us on that. They just seem to want it to stay the same horrible place that nobody wants to work in. You know? There's a reason that place hasn't had a steady management or a steady staff in a long time, right? And that's why. Well, we tried. There was plenty of managers there that were doing things they shouldn't have been doing that got fired or whatever, you know. But I mean, put it this way. The kitchen manager, I had 5 kitchen managers. 5 kitchen managers in 1 year? How do you expect people to work together, be efficient, put out food on time, and get everything out fast and be trained properly when you're changing a leader every couple months? You know, it doesn't happen. And even if you have a supervisor, I only have so much power. Like, I couldn't give out write-ups, so I couldn't, you know, if somebody was doing something wrong, I couldn't write them up for it. The only thing I could do was go around and do a checklist and say, oh, well, is the grease trap clean? Was the dishwasher cleaned? Were the floors mopped and swept? Are the sinks clean? Blah, 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 like all these things, right? The only thing I could do was do that checklist to make sure those things were done. That was my supervisor. That's all the power I had. I couldn't... What else could I do? Right? It's just like a glorified babysitter. And it's the same thing with my friend, who's supposed to be like the assistant manager there for the kitchen. The manager at the time wouldn't give him any responsibilities. He wouldn't let him do the schedule. He wouldn't do this. He wouldn't let him do this. He was basically just, he had the raise, but he wasn't able to do any of the legwork, because this guy didn't want to give up any of it. But at the same time, because this guy didn't want to give up that work and share the workload between other people, he put more pressure on himself. And then he became stressed out. And then he walked out and left and disappeared for a whole week because he stressed himself out. He had plenty of time and people that were more than willing, me and the other person were willing to share that workload with him and help him out. Like, obviously, we wanted to make it better. That was the point. But he didn't want to cooperate on that. He wanted to do it himself. And he stressed himself out. He walked out and left for a couple weeks and disappeared. Nobody knew where he was. He wasn't answering the phone. And meanwhile, while he was gone, the assistant person that I'm talking about, like the guy that's actually good, he got into a car accident, so he was off. The management that was there was saying he was faking it and calling him on a constant basis, asking him to come back even though he was just in a major car accident. And who was the only person of any management experience or supervisor experience that was working there? Me. So for 2 weeks, because that person decided he didn't want anyone to help him with the workload, stressed himself out, left, and then all of a sudden everything was on me. Right? And then after this guy disappeared for 2 weeks, but the business didn't know anything about where he went, they hired him back at one position lower. And the first thing he did, the first day he was there when I was standing there, and after all the work I did while he disappeared and tried to hold the place together, hold myself together, the first thing he did was go to the general manager that was there and he was like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry about disappearing for blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, you're apologizing to the general manager, but what about everybody that was doing the actual work and covering for you while you took your stress vacation? Right? And then as soon as I'm vocal about it there, I'm a traitor. People are going behind my back saying, oh, Kyle doesn't care about this place. Kyle just wants this place to fail. How did I want the place to fail? I was the only person doing it. You know? I was doing things that weren't my job while he was gone, that I wasn't getting paid to do. Voluntarily. What did it get me? Nothing. As soon as the dude came back, he decided to talk crap about me behind my back. To my friend, no less. Who he knows tells me. Right? Oh, 100%. It wasn't just that it was gossip. It was that it was serious gossip. Whenever gossip like that happened there, people would instantly take it as fact, and then that person would promptly be removed. And I was more or less afraid of getting fired for something I didn't do. So I basically was just like, nah, I'm out. I'm not doing this. I put on my 2 weeks notice. I said, to whom it may concern, I regret to inform you of my 2 weeks notice. Thank you for the opportunity to work at said business. But it's clear there's no opportunities to grow. And there was something else I said too, and I don't even remember. Like, I was formal with it. I'm not a dickhead. Like, I'm not the kind of person that's just gonna go in and just... If I have something to say to somebody, there's a reason for it. I don't do that very often. I don't confront anybody about anything very often. A lot of times I'll just ignore it and let it go, but there's a certain point where you just can't let it go anymore. Sometimes you just have to pick up for yourself, you know? You have to say, you know what, that's enough. You can't treat people like this. You just can't. Whether it's me or anybody else. If I walked into a restaurant and heard the way that they treated people and I was eating in the restaurant, I'd say something. I just believe everybody that works in a place, management, should be treated with respect that they deserve. Or the workers, down to the last, lowest, whatever, you know? I don't think anybody should be treated with the disrespect that a lot of these places, especially restaurant industry, gets away with. Working in the restaurant industry and working in this in retail are two of the worst things you can do. I swear, I feel bad for anybody that does it. I really do. It wasn't that I didn't hear it from the source. I seen it from the source. I have text messages of him talking about me. Right? My point is I want to hear it from the source. If he has a problem with how I'm doing something, or there's something that I should be doing that I'm not, come to me and say, hey, Kyle. I'm just trying to think of an example. You're not filling out these sheets. We'd like you to fill them out in the future. And I'd no problem. I'd have no problem with that. But don't go to someone behind my back and say, Kyle's not doing this. He's useless. This is no good. You know, like, it wouldn't just be him criticizing what I was doing. There'd be literal things being flung around, you know? And it's not cool. Like, it's just not, because I would never say anything like that about him. Well, I know. I'm just saying, there was just too much there. I just couldn't take it anymore. I wish I wanted to wear a GoPro for just a day, just so I could show people what it was like working there. Because, not even outside of work, not publicly or anything like that. I would like to show, like, you know, my mother or, you know, anybody like that. Just personally. Because it sounds like I'm making this up or I'm being extremely, I'm being, like, really dramatic about it, but, like, it really was really bad. I've worked in a lot of restaurants, and the last two I've worked in were very bad. Very bad. The one previous to this one was worse for different reasons, but this one was very bad, too. It really opened my eyes up to the first place that I worked wasn't really as bad as I thought it was. I learned that lesson. Right? Yeah, but it's not just gossip. Every time that I talk about this, I feel like you make it out to be like I'm just talking about the gossip. That's not the main part of it. The main part of it was that I was working 80 hours, over 80. Well, what was I doing? I was doing like 64 hours a week. And then as soon as someone came back, they were saying that I wasn't good enough. You know? And it wasn't just saying he's not good enough. It was saying, like, he's a piece of shit. He's not doing this. He's no good. He doesn't care. You know? And then after a while, it's just like, well, you know what? Like, maybe I don't care anymore. You can only care for so long. When people are constantly saying that shit about you, it's just not worth it anymore. It's just not. Like, why am I putting effort in to grow this company and giving up my hours to grow this company when this company doesn't care about me? I'm not saying they need to do everything for me, but I mean, like, you know, just even like an every now and then good job thing would help, right? No, but it's not my perception because every single person that works there feels the same way. That's what I'm saying. It's not just me. This is literally, they lost 25 staff in 2 weeks. And they've been bleeding staff on a constant basis for the last 5 years. They haven't been able to keep a steady staff because of the way I'm assuming they treat people. It just don't work like that, right? People aren't going to stay there and put up with that stuff. It's 2022. This isn't like 1970 where you can just do whatever. Maybe so. I know my worth. That's why I left. I know I'm worth more than that. I know the amount of work that I put in when I work in a place, right? Oh, 100%. It's not like I don't have mental disorders or anything that whatever, but I still do my job and I don't go around talking crap about people on a constant basis. Having a mental disorder sucks. I agree, but it's not an excuse to go around and berate people. It's just not, right? No, some people deal with it wrong. Oh. Why do you keep walking on my block, bro? Well, treating other people the way you want to be treated. 100%. It's the freaking golden rule. Every kid is taught that from day one, if you have any kind of good parents. I mean, that's why I put that at the end of my message I sent to him. I wasn't being rude in it. I even rearranged it after I had you read it to be nicer. But, you know. I try to the best of my ability. And most times I feel like I succeed at it to a certain degree. I try to understand where everyone's coming from, 100%. I'm not saying that person that was doing that didn't have stress, because he definitely did. But to say I'm stressed and then take it out on everybody else as if they're not also stressed is, you know, not fair. Especially if you're in a management position. Because you're taking up a responsibility to be professional and not act like that, you know? You shouldn't be acting like that anyways. But if you're taking up a position like that, you kind of got to be better, you know? I don't think that anybody is necessarily being bad. I just think that sometimes people need to be told when they're, because he might not have noticed that he was being like that. No, I'm not saying that, but he knew. You know what you're signing on for when you sign up to be a leader. You know there's responsibilities. You're told this in the interview. The job posting tells you these things. You know, this isn't stuff that's like news, and when you got the job, you're like, oh shit, I was supposed to be nice and respectful to people. That shouldn't be something that you know. That's not how that works. Oh, my shulker boxes are full. I gotta go back now anyways. We'll put all this away. We'll let the rest of that despawn because we don't really necessarily need this much anyways. Not like we're not going to get more anyway. And I'm going to have to get rid of some of this though. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not saying you're not right about a bunch of things. I'm just saying that there's, like, respect should be something that everybody is given regardless, like, to a certain degree. You know, if you're being a good person, obviously. It's earned, obviously, but I try to respect everybody anyways. But if I'm not being treated with respect, I'm not gonna reciprocate that all the time. It's just, you know. No, 100%. If that person doesn't know how to lead, they should be removed from that position. 100%. They should be gone. They shouldn't be given multiple 10 plus chances to do something when clearly the problem is rooted in them and everybody knows it, because the staff that's leaving is telling you that they're the problem. And it's not one person with a vendetta, it's every single person that's leaving. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. It just doesn't make sense. Oh, 100%. But sometimes you got to remove yourself from that environment. You don't stay there and marinate in that horrible, horrible environment that's just deteriorating your mental state. Your mental is more important than your physical state, in my opinion. And it's a lot easier to deteriorate than your physical. That's what I'm saying. My first major kitchen job that I quit, my kitchen manager there, I respected the hell out of that man. I still do. My problem with that place didn't lie with him. He was amazing. He would try to accommodate you on whatever. If you wanted something, a day off, he'd try his best. If he couldn't, he'd apologize, say, I can't get you that, I'm sorry, and give you a reason why. Right? His team came before everybody. Because he was the kitchen manager, he was the person representing us to the higher management, right? So when he's talking to the higher management, he's us, right? And he was so respectful at all times. But at the same time, if you were doing something wrong on a constant basis and he knew it was wrong, he'd tell you about it. But if you kept doing it, the man was scary. You wouldn't do it again after that, or you'd get fired. You know? But he was the best leader I've ever had. He was amazing. He was an amazing person. I think we're working towards that. I think the world is working towards something better. At least people are trying. I don't think that the human race is incapable of being better. But it doesn't get better if people just roll over and take it constantly. To be fair, I don't think said company is going to be around for much longer if they keep doing what they're doing. They're losing so much money. Because you got to remember, too, when you treat your employees like that and your employees are walking out and quitting at such a high rate, what do you think the first thing every one of those employees, especially the younger ones that are overzealous, what do you think the first thing they're going to do when they quit is? I really should have put wooden chests in the end and actually just put it in the chest there instead of bringing it all back here. It would have made so much more sense, but I'm not that smart. I've heard that quote before. This is a funny one. Once again, I'm not saying every company is bad, and I'm not saying everybody at that place was bad, but I'm saying that the core leadership of that place was extremely toxic. Extremely toxic. And it would take more than one person to not be working there for that to change. And I realized that. And realized that I wouldn't be able to change it. And realized that I could be more well-suited somewhere else. And maybe the restaurant industry in general just isn't for me anyways, because I don't enjoy cooking at all. And it doesn't help when I'm putting effort into something that I don't enjoy and I'm just getting shit on. You know? Once again, I'm not saying you're wrong about everything. I like having these talks with you because I like hearing other people's opinions on it, whether or not I disagree or agree. It's always good to have another opinion. They struggle finding good leaders. They don't struggle finding them. They're there. They're there. I guarantee you most of these companies that say they struggle to find good leaders, there's a good leader in that company that they don't want to work with for whatever reason, or they don't want to promote for whatever reason. Maybe because they do say things. You know? Maybe I wouldn't be a good leader at a company because I call out when I see injustices and stuff. I don't just turn a blind eye to it. You know, when I see somebody being treated unfairly, I mention it. Especially a company that's unionized. It's not a lack of communication. It's a lack of awareness. It's a lack of awareness of the employees and what your employees are doing on a regular basis. If you're a manager somewhere, you should be watching that. Right? Okay, you're a manager at a company. Just hypothetical. You're a manager at a company, and you have, I'm just gonna say like 10 employees, right? Knowing you personally, I know that you would know the ins and outs of how well one person is working over another, or how many times one person calls in sick, or whether a person is acting out or acting up, right? Yeah, okay. So that's what I'm saying. You know this, right? But the problem is that the people that are there don't know any of that. These people that are coming to work not sober, late every day, what else? There's a million things you could add. They don't get any kind of repercussions for those actions, right? While everybody else is working away, doing their job, showing up on time, doing everything as best they can, you know, and putting in maximum effort and being respectful to each other. You got these other people that are just not, that shouldn't be there realistically. They've broken so many rules. But said manager doesn't want to do anything about it because that's scary or whatever. I don't know. I'm just guessing, because instead of giving someone a write-up, it's supposed to be like you get written up 3 times and then you're out. 3 strikes, you're out, right? But people wouldn't get write-ups. They'd come in late, come in not sober, and realistically, that second one, if you came in, you should be removed immediately, because not only is that against company rules, but that's just straight up, like, not cool. My point. Exactly. I agree. I'm not saying that I would make a good leader. I don't mean anything of the sort by that. I just mean that I know there are good leaders out there, and I worked with people there that were very good leaders, but they weren't given the opportunities that they should be given to make that place grow and be a better place. Instead, it's given to the people that don't care, that don't do anything to make the place better. The ones that have been proven time and time and time and time and time again to bring other people down on purpose, be outright abusive, and just get away with it. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? But they're always talking about how they want to get the company back on track. They want to get this back. They want to do this. They want to do that. They want to do this. But like they're never going to be able to do that because they don't have the right people in place to accomplish that. And the people that were there that did want to accomplish that and wanted to be in those places, they give you the promotion to be in that place, but they don't actually give you any of the access or tools to do that, right? Well, I'm not even saying the higher company. I just mean the main people that are there every single day. Those managers. I'm not even talking about regional. I'm not talking about corporate. I'm not talking about anything. I mean, that specific store has a lot of problems, right? And no, that's not true. Lots of places are better. In fact, like I told you, the first job I had, if I had my time back, I would have went back and worked there because that place was not as bad as I thought. That was the part where I learned a lesson that there were way worse places. After I left that place, I went to 3 different places, and all 3 places were terrible. Terrible places, right? There are better places. They're not going to be perfect. I'm not expecting a workplace to be perfect. That's impossible. There's always going to be problems. But you know, there are ways to fix and get around it and work together. Even if your manager's not working together, there's ways for the other people to work together. But the problem was that manager was creating this toxic environment, which was making the next person down toxic, which was making the next person down toxic, which was being toxic to the rest of the staff. So that's the problem, you know what I'm saying? And some of these companies do the right thing and they literally just start over. Like the last one I worked for before this one, they literally fired everybody and just restarted from scratch. And I think when it gets that bad and there's that much going on there, I think that's probably your best bet to get something back on track, because otherwise you're just running it into the ground. Because then your staff is unhappy, they're putting out bad product, the bad product's going out to the customers aren't happy, the customers are giving reviews, they're not coming back, and then your company's dead, right? It all comes down from the top. As soon as like that toxic mentality just goes through the whole thing, you know, straight into the customers. It's the most like goth thing I've heard all night. I used to say that a lot. Die, cry, hate. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you for talking with me. I appreciate it. I really do. It's good venting all that shit that I'm done with that I don't have to deal with from that place anymore anyway. On to the next place to do the same thing. Ugh. Okay. Bye-bye. And I will see you again tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Saturday, so Minecraft again. Okay.